This video is for any of you out there that want to get involved in retained performance-based recruiting, which basically is collecting a payment upfront from your client before you start recruiting. What this does, it helps you get a stronger relationship with your client. It prevents your client from ghosting you, which often happens. It's just a much more sophisticated way to run and conduct your staffing and recruiting business. Okay, so let me jump into the process that I use, that I teach to get a client from A to Z, to close the client from start to finish. I'm going to go ahead and give you kind of a case study and documentation here of a member of mine, Clarence Thomas, who's absolutely crushing it with his new recruiting business. And he's in the blockchain cryptocurrency niche or vertical. And Clarence joined about 45 days ago. And let me kind of give you a preview of what he's doing from start to finish. So I'm going to show you how he gets the clients, how he hooks them from the biz dev perspective, from the hunting side, to what he does next when a replies back to him and the path that he brings that client on. And I'm going to show you a phenomenal way to close the client and a technique that we use that is our closure rates from 92% from a discovery call to proposal stage. Let's jump into it. Okay. Ironically enough, here's Clarence on my LinkedIn feed because the guy is an absolute bulldog on LinkedIn, and he's been diving into our teachings, our curriculum, our practices when it comes to LinkedIn in growing your recruiting business. Again, if you watch my videos before, you know I'm a big advocate of LinkedIn for your recruiting company. I get it. There's multi-channels out there that you can use. There's cold email. There's other social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, job boards. Yeah, I get all that. But if you're in recruiting, you have it right here, LinkedIn, over 800 million users in over 32 countries. Like, why would you not want to stay on LinkedIn to grow your recruiting business? No reason to leave this platform. So what Clarence does on a daily basis, let me move my face over here, is he's constantly posting on his LinkedIn page in the way of articles and polls and videos. Let me give you a preview of this. And he's also sharing big time influencers that are in the crypto and blockchain space. He's sharing those posts and summarizing them and getting a great response and building a phenomenal network. But not a day goes by, I'm telling you, on the weekends too, where Clarence is not putting some piece of content on LinkedIn about his niche and vertical. And you'll see, and go to his page and check him out. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about here. So all of these posts that he does are hyper targeted on blockchain and cryptocurrency. So it's very clear as to what he does. And he is creating an audience. He's getting invited now to be keynote speaker at certain conventions that are specific to blockchain. This is exactly what will happen to you as well if you start putting consistent content on LinkedIn. All right. So from these methods right here, and I'm not going to dive too far into our details of how we teach this, but I'll give you a cursory overview. Like, here's a video that Clarence does. He is customizing his videos, getting great responses here. All right. So once he does that, he starts creating dialogue with clients. He attracts inbound client leads, which are the best leads to get versus pushing your product on somebody. And then he takes that client to an intro call. All right. So that should be the next step in your retained search process. Always take a client to an intro call, which should only be maximum 10 minutes long. Okay. This call is not for you to qualify their requisition. It's not for you to dive into pricing at all. And believe me, your client is going to ask you those questions, but you have to deflect them, because the goal on the intro call for 10 minutes is to just see if the stars align enough for you to move forward to the discovery call. Okay. And on the discovery call is where that particular manager needs to bring all of the stakeholders, all of the decision makers. It's going to be a 45-minute call. And then we have a discovery form that is very strategic, and you just follow it like baking a cake. Okay, the recipe is right there for you. And you bring these stakeholders through your journey of your discovery call, discovering exactly the kind of role they're looking to fill. All right. And the questions on the discovery page, which I'll show you right here, are directed or are created, to show your client that you know what you're doing. Like, you're not just some average recruiter looking to place, labor people, right? So this is a preview of the discovery form that I use. And I've showed this before in videos, but again, we have shown that when we bring a client and stakeholders to this step right here, and we spend 45 minutes plus with them, that we typically have a closure rate of 92% once we submit over our customized proposal. So this goes on and on, but bottom line is you're asking the client questions like, let's discuss your near-term objectives, right? What in the next 3 to 6 months, what do you want this candidate to accomplish? And then in the next 3 years, what would the game plan be? The point is, you're talking about the client and what they have in front of them. Okay. You're not talking about candidates that have done things 5 or 10 years ago. What matters to the client is find me a person that can come in here, stop the bleeding, and can do X, Y, and Z in the next 3 months. That's what they want. And that's what they're going to pay you for up front to find that type of candidate, which in all honesty is tough to find. So you should get a payment up front for that. And your fee should be a premium. So that's what I'm talking about. It's weeding out all of these tire kicker clients and companies throughout the world that don't want to pay a recruiting fee, that don't like recruiters for whatever reason. I don't want to deal with those people. And you shouldn't either. Like, you have high value in being a recruiter. Recruiting is difficult. So get paid for it, okay? And have a client that's going to appreciate what you do, your hard work, and your value. That is retained search. That is performance-based recruiting. And it's all that I do now. I used to do the temp to hire, the contingency recruiting, and there's lots of money there, but tons of headaches go along with that too. And it's just a revolving door to some degree. All right, so discovery call, 45 minutes plus. If it goes an hour, great. The more the client talks, the better. And then what we do is we go ahead and create this phenomenal page right afterwards that our IT admin creates. We did this for Clarence, and we show the client, hey, great call today. We went ahead and summarized our discovery call, put it on a website where we're going to advertise this job to A-player candidates. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Here's a preview of what we gleaned from the discovery call. And I'd love to get your feedback, Mr. Client, if you want me to add things, revise things, whatever it is. And then Clarence comes on here and does a video.
Hey, do you have experience as a core developer for an Ethereum-based deep?
Unbelievable. So Clarence is great on video. He describes the job, and imagine being a candidate, receiving this, a passive candidate. This is going to intrigue you. It's very professional. It's sophisticated. And these are the steps you got to take to do retained search. Okay, so this goes out. Then, so a client usually writes back, oh my God, this is incredible. You know what? I read down here. Can you just go ahead and change this to that, whatever it is? The point of this psychologically is you're getting your clients buy-in. You're acting as a consultant to them, and they're communicating with you, and you're working together to develop a great hiring plan for them. So this is why this is so effective. All right, the next thing would be your proposal. So I believe that when you send a proposal over, it should be in the form of another sales process, right? You're always selling to your client. So this is a PowerPoint presentation proposal. Have you ever seen anything like this? I guarantee you haven't in recruiting, because what most recruiters do is they'll get some legal document out there that they'll find on, like, what is it called? Like LegalZoom or something. And it's just a generic, 2-pager of all this legal stuff, confidentiality, blah, blah, blah. They'll put their fee in there and they'll shoot it over as a Word doc or a PDF. And it's what every recruiter does. No, be different. You're looking for a payment up front. You're going to get like $50,000 to $100,000 fees. You have to do some work here and look professional. Here's the best part. We have all these templates for you already. So you have all the PowerPoints at your fingertips. These websites we do for you. So all that hard work is done for you. All right. So so we go ahead and send over a phenomenal looking PowerPoint presentation proposal with our fee at the end. I'm not going to get too far into this to protect, obviously, Clarence's client. And the last thing we do is up here, you can't see it obviously for confidentiality reasons, is Clarence's client. He says, for my client. And then Clarence comes on here and does a video.
Hey, Aaron.
Talking about summarizing the discovery call and letting his client know, hey, look, click here and you can review the proposal that we just did for you. So the client will watch the video. Clarence will give the client clear directions as to what the next steps are, very personalized, different. And then the client clicks here and it opens up this PowerPoint presentation and they can sign off on it digitally and you're off to the races, right? So that is our process for retained search. There's a couple of things in between that I may have left out, but this is what you need to do to elevate your game in recruiting. For those of you that have been in recruiting for a while, if you own an agency and you're sick and tired of the minutia that clients bring you through on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, candidates backing out, clients ghosting you, clients changing their mind, you're never getting exclusive business, stop doing it. I stopped last year. I put the brakes on, got away from it, and now all I do is high level, 50,000 and above fees. I get a payment up front. It's an injection of capital into my business, but more importantly, I've got a long-lasting relationship with my client. I'm not worried about anyone behind me getting my business. It's exclusive. I can teach you all this. I can provide all these forms for you and help you out, and you're on your way. Hope that helps, guys. Thanks.